What up, y'all? This your boy Kareem Supreme. July 23rd. It's July 23rd, 2021. Back in 1991, on July 23rd, Main Source released the hip-hop classic, Breaking Atoms. It was a straight-up hip-hop classic. And this is the album that introduced me to the hip-hop underground world. Like, I had never heard of underground hip-hop until this album came out. This is the first album that I noticed there was a hip-hop underground. I mean, you know, it was probably an underground hip-hop scene before this album came out, but this album spearheaded the hip-hop underground world. I mean, you know, this album was I heard about this album from word of mouth. Like, there was no promotion or anything. Like, I had never heard of a Main Source. Just people was just talking about Main Source. You gotta check out Main Source. And first thing that came to my mind was The Main Ingredient. It was a funk group or a soul group called The Main Ingredients. The Main Ingredient back in the 70s. And that's what I thought people was talking about. You know, I was 11 years old, you know. And I'm like, so Main Source is a group? And then we had a jewelry store called The Source, and it was a hip-hop magazine called The Source. So I was just all confused. Like, you know, I couldn't put the pieces together, you know. I heard people talking about The Source. They was calling Main Source The Source, too. I'm like, huh? You know, just wasn't no way to confirm it. Wasn't no internet, wasn't no Google. So one day I was at my homeboy Dave's house, and this video kept coming on called "Looking at the Front Door." We turned to BET. The video was on. We didn't know we didn't know the name of the group. You know, it was only one rapper singing it. It was only one rapper rapping on the song. So, you know, we thought it was just a solo rapper. And then we turned from BET to MTV. And looking at the front, the same video was on, but we didn't know the name. You know, we just turned it there. Boom. Turned from BET. Looking at the Front Door was on. Turned to MTV, Looking at the Front Door again. So then, we went to go play basketball. We went back to his house a couple hours later. Turned on BET, Rap City, and that video was on again. We was like, damn, why they keep playing this video? So I said, yo, let's watch it to the end to see the name of the rapper. And so when the video went off, it showed the name of the group. It said Main Source. I'm like, yo, I've been hearing about this group. Fast forward about a couple of weeks, about a month later, and this is still the summer of '91, and I was over at my homeboy JJ house, and he was listening to Live at the Barbecue. I didn't know what it was back then, and it was like a posse track. It featured a whole bunch of different rappers. And he had a speaker in his bedroom window. We was outside in the driveway playing tap or something like that, playing catch or something. And I was like, yo, who is this? He was like, this Main Source, Live at the Barbecue. And I was like, I heard of Main Source. They sang Looking at the Front Door, right? He was like, yeah. And I was like, how many rappers are in this group? And he said it's like one main rapper named Large Professor. And I said, that's the dude with the afro, right? He was like, yeah. He was like, but this here rapping is this dude named Nas, Nasty Nas. My rap's a sniper. What'd he say? He said, my lyrics is trife. My raps, so I forgot what he said. He was like, when I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. He was like, that's Nas. I was like, wow, I never heard nobody talk about snuffing Jesus. I said, yo, this kid is dope. I was like, is he in the group? He was like, he's part of the group. I was like, oh, okay. And then I think Akinelli rapped too. Akinelli was on there, and there was a few more cats that later on that went on to be big stars. Damn, this dude, alarm going off, messing me up. Hold on, y'all. This dude messing me up. Shit. Somebody car alarm. But anyway, long story short, All we talked about for the rest of that summer was the Main Source album. And I didn't even know the name of it. It took me a long time to figure out the name of it. I was just asking people. And my homeboy Jay was like, yeah, it's called Breaking Atoms. I'm like, what are atoms? He was like, you'll learn about it when you get in high school. Atoms are small molecules. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. So I remember I was at home watching Yo MTV Raps with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. And they was like, yo, we got a new video by Main Source called I'm Just Hanging Out. And they played that shit. I was like, oh, man. That song was probably, at that time, that was the hottest rap song I had ever heard at the time. You know what I mean? At that time, that beat was out of this world. So I ran down the street to my homeboy JJ house. I was like, yo, I said, Main Source got a new video. He was like looking at the front door. I said, no, Just Hanging Out. He was like, word? I said, yo, I swear to God. Because at first, him and his brother didn't believe me. So, like for days, we monitored MTV and BET for days to catch that video again, so we could record it. And it took maybe like 2 or 3 weeks for them to play it again. When they finally played it, I was over their house, and everybody in the room just went wild. It was pandemonium. I was like, what? I was like, whoa. I had never seen a bunch of people react to a video like that before. It was just pandemonium throughout the room. You know, it was just everybody went crazy for that one, just to see that one video. And then at the end, they was pissed because they forgot to record it. They was like, oh man, it went from pandemonium, it went from an extreme high to an extreme low at the end of the video when they realized that they forgot to hit record. It went from, oh shit, yeah, to oh. But they played it again, you know, sooner or later, and they eventually recorded it. But that was one of my most memorable moments of the Breaking Atoms album. That video, it was crazy. But then they had another song on here called Just a Friendly Game of Baseball. And the stuff that they were talking about in that song is still relevant to this day, 30 years later. Just a Friendly Game of Baseball. It's about police brutality. You know, they compared the police, they compared police brutality to a game of baseball. He said hot dog vendors are like the news coverage selling you the hot rat, what did he say? The cat, rat, and dog on the bun. He said hot dog vendors have fun selling you the cat, rat, and dog on the bun. And then you watch the news for coverage. It's a dope song. It's called Friendly Game of Baseball. Another deep song was Watch Roger Do His Thing. And another one of my favorite songs is what's the other song? Let me see. Just Hanging Out, Looking at the Front Door, of course. And I'm just going off top of the dome. Live at the Barbecue. I think we covered all my favorite songs. It's a classic album. Check it out. Main Source, Breaking Atoms. Large Professor turned out to be one of my favorite producers of all time. I think Pete Rock did a couple tracks on here too. And it's a hip-hop masterpiece. Check it out. 30 years of Breaking Atoms. Main Source. Peace. Get at your boy Kareem Supreme. Peace.